is suing pizza parlor owner Steve Lindner for the cost to fix his truck. Mitchell claims it was vandalized by Steven's employees.
All rise. Now, this is case number 219 on the calendar in the matter of Ergenson versus Lindner. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Mr. Urgenson, it is your claim that Mr. Lindner's employees vandalized your house and your car. And Mr. Lindner says that he wasn't there. As far as he's concerned, there is no proof that his employees did anything to your house and your car. Who do you live with, sir?
Myself and my two daughters.
How old are your daughters?
17 and 19.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm an electrical contractor.
And you have a restaurant?
Yes.
Sometime in July, according to what I read, you ordered some food from Mr. Lindner's establishment. Have you ordered from him before?
Many a times.
What did you order?
Antipasta salad and a turkey sandwich.
And did they deliver it?
Yes.
Remember what date that was?
The 22nd is the date of this, yes.
No, the
22nd.
date of the first order.
Well, what happened
for a
was
sandwich and a salad.
we ordered a couple times and asked for extra Italian dressing prior to that.
Well, I understand that, sir. I read the complaint. I read your complaint very carefully. Sometime before this incident, you had ordered a sandwich and a salad.
Which was 2 weeks before.
That's what I want to know. 2 weeks before this incident. And you had ordered a sandwich and a salad with extra dressing for the salad. What kind of extra dressing did you want?
Italian dressing. A couple extra cups.
And had you ordered that before?
Yeah.
And had they always accommodated you before?
Yes.
Who was the salad and the sandwich for?
Me and my daughter. Actually, my oldest daughter.
Who was eating the salad? Who was eating the sandwich? Who were you sharing?
Share it.
And your order came, and they didn't send the extra dressing.
They didn't send any dressing.
So you called back the restaurant. And what did you say to them?
I asked them, they didn't bring me any dressing. I talked to one of their guys in there. He said, we're very sorry. We'll be out in 10 minutes. And I said, please do, because I don't want to wait another 40 minutes like I had to wait for my order. I want the salad dressing right away. No problem, sir. We'll be right out there. Waited about 40 minutes, almost an hour. Nobody showed up at my door. I called and I said, can I talk to the manager? And he says, I am the manager. I said, well, I've been waiting for my dressing now an hour. They didn't bring me any. Well, I didn't know. He said, I didn't know anything about it. We have no drivers anymore. They all went home. And I got angry with him. I said, well, I want a credit on my food then. And he said he wasn't going to give me full credit. And I said, I would like full credit for $12. I couldn't eat anything.
You couldn't eat the sandwich?
Not by that time, because we normally put the salad dressing on the sandwich, too. That's why we order extra for the salad and the sandwich. The girls like it. They like the extra vinegar and stuff. So we got mad. The manager hung up on me. I tried to call back. Nobody answered. So I let it go. And about 2 weeks later, I ordered the same meal. And when the driver got there, I said, we have a credit, and I shut the door.
Very grown up of you.
Yeah.
You think that was right?
Come see, come saw.
What is come see, come saw?
Well, I had a credit.
Do you think,
I mean, the guy agreed he was going to pay me half the credit.
No. Listen to me, sir.
Okay.
You didn't have a credit. You said you wanted a credit.
No, the manager also told me he was going to give me a credit on the salad, but not the sandwich.
That's right. That's what you just told me.
Right.
So, well, we will certainly, sir, give you a credit on the salad, because if you run the kind of house where you don't have any dressing at all in your house for 3 adults, if you can't eat the salad, we're sorry about that, but we're not going to give you a credit on the sandwich. You decided you wanted a credit on both. So when you took your food and slammed the door in the driver's face, which is what you just told me that you did, that was the wrong thing to do.
Okay.
There were a lot of other things that you could have done other than stiff the driver. Because
Well, it wasn't the driver, it was the pizza.
No, it's the driver. Because they're giving them the food, and when they come back and he says, listen, we went to somebody's house and they wouldn't give us any money, either one of two things happen. Either they say, well, we're taking it out of your money, or they call you. Did they call you?
No.
So you don't know whether the driver got stiffed with your $12 meal. Anyway, Mr. Ergenson, it was very immature of you. And what I'm surprised about is, evidently you are a single father raising 2 children. It would seem to me that you would have enough to occupy your plate other than engaging yourself in these petty little situations that cause nothing but problems for people. Are you telling me that your girls are so perfect that you have nothing else to worry about? Or maybe they're not so perfect that you got plenty to worry about, that you were taking it out on some stranger.
No, my girls are plenty perfect. They're very good
They're plenty
girls.
perfect. Well, then there's something wrong with you.
Okay.
All right. Now,
For a single father that runs a business for 20 years and raises 2 girls since they've been 2 and 4, I think I'm pretty good.
Well, then I want to tell you something. If your girls are perfect and you run a nice business and you don't have enough to do with your time, I'd start volunteering a little bit more, because this business is ridiculous, petty baloney. So now what you're complaining about is that the next day...
No.
2 days later?
No.
That night?
That night, I had 4 guys come to my house and try to strong-arm me for $12 at my door and threaten to ask me to come outside so we can take care of outside.
Okay.
And I shut the door in their face.
So this little escapade of yours, then 4 people came back to your house and wanted the 12. Just a second. And said they wanted the $12. Yeah. And again, you slammed the door in their face.
No, I told them I have a credit. I said, where's the manager? The guy, this one over here, says, I am the manager. And I said, you're the manager from the place? Well, great. Do you remember this? He says, no. And the other guy that's not here today says, oh, you were the one that complained about the salad dressing. I said, so you know about it. You know what happened 2 weeks ago. He said, yes. And I said, okay, then you have a credit with me. If you have a problem, tell the owner to call me. We'll deal with it in court. If you want to sue me for 12, sue me for 12. So that's how it happened.
Volunteer.
They threatened me in my house.
Volunteer. It was a stupid thing to do. Should have written it off. You understand?
Yes.
You're dealing with somebody who's got a little too much time on his hands and a little bit too much aggression in his gut.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She was up a whole night and frightened because her father acted like a jerk. That's why she was up all night, because her father acted like a big baby.
And later today...
You're not supposed to fib anytime, especially not when you're in court, because that's a fib. If your mother doesn't know it's a fib, I know it's a fib.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Mitchell Ergensen says pizza parlor owner Stephen Lindner owes for vandalism to his truck. Mitchell claims Stephen's employees doused it with salad dressing.
First of all, Mr. Ergensen, when you order a salad with dressing and a sandwich, the sandwich doesn't come with Italian dressing. So what you're doing is saying, when I asked you, well, why couldn't you eat the sandwich? You said, we'd like to put the dressing on the sandwich. You're not entitled to that. You're not entitled to that. The sandwich comes alone.
Yeah.
The dressing comes with a salad. You want dressing for your sandwich, go to the store and buy a bottle of dressing so you have dressing for the sandwich.
But it's not the same dressing. Their salad dressing has their own taste and their own life. It's like when you go to different restaurants. When you go into different restaurants, do you like different salad dressings that different restaurants serve you?
Mr. Ergensen, listen to me very carefully, sir.
Okay.
Then you don't say, send me extra dressing for the sandwich that I'm not entitled to. You say, I'm prepared to pay you extra to send me extra dressing because I like dressing on my sandwich.
If they said it cost extra, I would have been happy to pay for it.
Did you? Just a second.
Happy to pay for it.
You were getting something for nothing. You wanted something for nothing. You're not entitled to that.
No, I did not.
Mr. Ergensen, you're a big baby.
Okay.
That doesn't mean you're a big baby.
Thank you.
That doesn't mean your people were entitled to vandalize his house. Now, Mr. Ergensen, I will take a look at the photographs of your house.
And my car.
And your car.
And I have the cups that they used.
I don't care about the cups
All right,
that they
and
used.
I have a new cup, too. It shows in the pictures. And I also have repairs that you might want to see.
Let me see the bills. Mr. Lindner, the way to respond to someone who is behaving in an immature way is not to stoop to their level. There isn't a question in my mind, after examining these photographs, that this vandalism to the plaintiff's house was done by someone in your employ or in the employ of the restaurant. No question. You get me?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah. Now, I don't know whether you went home. I don't know whether they said, listen, he deserves it. What he did was he was acting like a baby, acting like a big baby. But you don't take the law into your own hands and commit a crime.
Absolutely not.
You want to file a police report and say he stole food from me? That's your prerogative. He did. It would be no different from him coming into a restaurant, having a meal, and getting up and leaving, and saying, well, the last time I was here, I didn't have a good meal, and I wanted a credit, and they wouldn't give me a credit. So this time, I'm enjoying my meal, but I'm not paying for it. No different. What he did was he stole from you.
No,
and for that, oh, yes, you did,
No,
sir. There is no difference from what you did than if you walked into their restaurant or walked into a... I'm speaking. No difference than if you went into a restaurant, ate, didn't like the meal, they wouldn't give you a credit. And a week later, go back to the same restaurant, order the same meal, and get up and leave. And if the police came, they would have arrested you for theft of services, because that's what it is. They still had no right to vandalize your house. Do you understand?
Yes.
You don't resort to that sort of behavior because he acted like a jerk.
And came to my house and threatened me in my house.
No, ma'am.
And my daughter will attest to all that, too.
Listen, I don't want to get your daughter involved. It's bad enough she had to be involved. It's bad enough she had to be involved with it because of your stupidity.
She was frightened the whole night from these guys doing this.
No, listen to me.
She was.
Listen to me. She was up a whole night and frightened because her father acted like a jerk. That's why she was up all night, because her father acted like a big baby. Cost you $229.23. Is that right?
And lost wages in my work.
Well, that's too bad. Captain lost wages in acting like a jerk. They're not allowed to vandalize your property. Cost you $229. I hope it felt good. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Just 1 second. $229.23 less 12. $217.23. Judgment for the plaintiff. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Apparently, I didn't bring him his dressings, which I did offer to bring back, which he did not want.
I just wanted my order the way it should have. When they didn't bring me any, I was a little upset.
He yelled at me for a good 6 minutes or so in the middle of the street.
About principle.
I just think it's about respect between customer and business.
He was enraged, and he slammed the door in my face, and that was it.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of White versus York. Step forward, please.
Lisa White is suing business owner Susan York for the cost to repair her vehicle. Lisa claims Susan's son, 8-year-old Dylan, hit it with a rock.
Miss White, it is your complaint that Miss York's little boy, I assume this little boy, was throwing rocks in the street, and one of the rocks hit your car, causing some damage.
That's correct.
And you want his mother to pay for the damage. Miss York says she doesn't think her son was responsible for that. He was merely rolling rocks, although she wasn't there. She says that it was really your conduct that was outrageous on that day. So tell me when this happened.
It was approximately 7 to 7:15 in the morning on May 12th. I was on my way to work. I was traveling down East Yacht Drive.
Where is that?
It's in Oak Island, North Carolina. As I approached the intersection where the children were, they were in the street.
How many children were in the street?
Approximately 5, 2 boys and 2 or 3 girls.
I assume they were waiting for the school bus?
That's correct.
Okay.
As I approached, I noticed that they were playing in the street, so I slowed down. They moved to the shoulder of the intersection. One little boy was throwing stones into the other empty lot across the street, and as I approached, Dylan threw a rock at my car, and I heard it hit.
You saw him do that?
Yes, ma'am.
So you stopped your car, and what did you do?
I got out, and I'm like, you, come here, what's your name? And I said, look at what you've done to my car. I said, where do you live? He said, down the street. I said, you get in my car, and I'm taking you to your mother to show her what you're doing at the bus stop. Well, he had extra stones in his other hand, and he threw those down. I said, no, you pick those up, you put them in my car, and we're going now. So he got into the car, and I took him straight to his mother's house. I told him to go upstairs and take the stones with him to show whoever was there. I didn't know which parent was home. I said, take those and show them what you've been throwing at my car, and send them downstairs to talk to me. And she came down to talk with me.
And what did she say?
Well, she asked him, did he do it? And why did you do that? I've told you not to throw stones. I told her.
What did he say?
He's like, well, it was an accident. I'm like, no, it was not. I saw him do it.
He said to his mother it was an accident.
That's correct.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Stand up next to your mother. Dylan, how could it be an accident if you were throwing the stones?
I was rolling them across the road, and she was going like 70.
Dylan, I don't want your nose to get long. I want you to tell me how it's an accident that stones that you were rolling on the ground hit somebody's car.
I rolled it, it bounced up on another
You rolled it and it bounced up. A rock.
It hit another rock and it bounced.
That's a fib, Dylan. You're not supposed to fib anytime, especially not when you're in court, because that's a fib. If your mother doesn't know it's a fib, I know it's a fib. You and your friends were throwing rocks, right?
Yes.
And one of the rocks hit her car.
Yes.
See how easy that was?
Yes.
What your complaint is, Miss York, and one that I quite frankly find compelling, is that Miss White exercised very poor judgment in putting your son in her car.
This is correct.
Because I don't think North Carolina is any different from any other place in this country. You don't take somebody else's child and put them in your car. That's very poor judgment, Miss White. I don't think there would have been anything wrong in you saying, if you live right down the street, you go right home, I'm going to follow you, so that you would know where he lived. But you don't take anybody else's child and put them in your car. Now, can I see a picture of the damage to your car?
I do have a photo, but you cannot see the actual dents or chips in the car, in the paint.
Well, it should just be one.
No, there's actually several. I have a police report stating that the officer noted 6 chips areas.
Well, he didn't chip it 6 times. He threw 1 rock. That's according to you.
He had several stones in his other hand. I don't know how many stones actually hit.
I don't know how many children were involved in throwing stones, but you said to me, I saw him throw a stone. I heard it hit my car. There's a difference in hearing 1 or hearing 6.
Your Honor, may I say something? Mm-hmm. When she drove to my house, I saw 1 little dot, and then in return, it ended up being dents. I never saw a dent. She even herself said it probably won't be much.
Well, what she's suing you for is $300.
Yes, ma'am.
Which isn't much. I think what your complaint is, quite frankly, despite the fact that I read your answer, and your answer gave me the same malarkey that he was rolling stones. Children don't roll stones. They throw stones at cars. And that's what he did, because that's what he just told me he did.
Right, yes, ma'am.
So you're responsible, because if you want to make sure that your son doesn't do that, and I assume he's done it before, right?
Not that I'm aware of, no, ma'am.
Never heard of him throwing rocks before?
Not at cars.
At anything?
I mean, he's a little boy. I guess he does throw rocks, yes.
Okay, well, if he's a little boy and he throws rocks, then you should be out there with him waiting for the school bus.
Your Honor, I would like to say, when he came home from school, I had asked him what happened. And he admitted that he had been rolling rocks.
Rolling rocks doesn't...
Rolling rocks, throwing rocks, and 1 hit her car. And then he proceeded to show me how she forcefully put him in her car. I have a written statement for...
I don't take statements from people. She had no right to put him in the car, take him in the car, ask him to get into the car, pick him up. Absolutely no right to do that. He wasn't injured. He went off to school that day. Did you go off to school that day?
Yes.
Did you have a good day in school that day?
Yes.
So he wasn't injured, emotionally or physically. But she did the wrong thing, and I've told her she did the wrong thing. So I read her the Riot Act. You still have to pay to have a car fixed.
That's fine.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $300. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Excuse me, they step out.
20-year-old phlebotomist Cassandra Trester is suing her former roommate, 20-year-old college student Layla Richardson, for purposely bleaching her clothes.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 534 on the calendar in the matter of Trester versus Richardson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have seats.
Miss Trester, the defendant was a roommate of yours, and it is your claim that when she moved out, she purposely bleached your clothes. And in addition, she either took or stole some of your property.
Yes.
Defendant says nonsense. When did you move in together?
We moved in August.
How many people were sharing the apartment?
There's 4 of us all together.
Was it an apartment, a townhouse?
It was a townhome, three levels.
Were you going to school or working?
I do both.
And the other people?
My brother and the other roommate work, and Layla was working at the time.
When did you move out?
I moved out on November 9th, 2000.
Had you signed the lease?
Yes, I had.
So you broke your lease when you moved out?
No, I had cleared it with our landlord.
But you were breaking your lease by moving out early?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me why you moved out.
I moved out because I would come home various nights from work, and pretty much in the living room, couch, entertainment center, everything was mine, and stuff was getting misused on my entertainment center. My cats were purposely being let outside, and they weren't outside cats. And I was just, you know, I moved all my stuff up to my room pretty much. And a couple days later, I was in Cheyenne, Wyoming, visiting a friend. Cassandra called me and pretty much told me that it was unfair that I moved my stuff upstairs because, you know, all the roommates were using it. And I explained that pretty much, you know, if they can't use it properly, it is my stuff. I should be able to move it up to my room if I'd like to. And pretty much after that, we just weren't getting along, arguing, yelling at each other. And I had previously been in a car accident. I didn't need any extra stress, so I figured it was better for both of us just to end the situation and for me to move out and move on.
Now, Ms. Dresser, it is your claim that the defendant damaged some of your property, and that was on the 9th of November?
Yes.
Well, tell me about it.
Well, actually, to correct her, the reason she moved out is we actually had a physical confrontation. A couple days before, she had thrown a bowl at my head and I slapped her back.
She had thrown a what at your head?
A cat food bowl at my head, and I had slapped her back. I went in later that day and apologized and was like, we'll work these things out. I know you lost your job, you don't have rent. I can cover you for a little bit longer. We just need to work on it. She wasn't paying
How
her
long
bills.
hadn't she paid the rent?
It was due on the 1st, so she moved out on the 9th, so it was 9 days late. And the main thing was that our bills she had written checks to bounced, and she was unwilling to take care of them. That was the problem. And she was like, I'm too busy to take care of it. So I was like, well, you need to take care of it or get out. At that point, we were okay. I came home. I felt that her moving her stuff out of the front room was vindictive because she was doing it because she was upset at me. And I told her, if this is the way it's going to continue to be, maybe it'll be better if you get out. I would rather have you out. She said that I was overreacting. We needed to talk about it. So I was like, we'll talk about it when I get home from work the next day. She called me at work from that day. That was on the 7th, and told me that she was moving out. I went home that night to monitor things getting moved around because, of course, things always get taken when people move out. And her mom and her were egging me on to fight, saying that I wasn't tough enough. So I went up into my room and stayed until I had heard that they'd left. When I left, I came downstairs to grab all my stuff because while I was up in my room, I heard her and her mom constantly going, is this Cassie's stuff? If it is, I don't care, break it. It's not mine. I don't care, break it. Hearing things thud, hit the wall, laughing, just very horrible things. So when I came downstairs, the first thing I went to was my clothes because that's most important to most girls. But and I went into there and the bleach was just overwhelming. Like my eyes started burning.
On what floor is the laundry room?
It's on the first level. The 2 bedrooms are upstairs, so I came downstairs and I could smell bleach as soon as I got to the bottom of the stairs and went in there. And lo and behold, all of my clothes have bleach on them. And the bleach bottle was standing up and had the cap on it. So I called the police and made a report, and that's this for you.
What other items do you say that the defendant has of yours?
Clothes, books. She had also borrowed a bunch of things from me because I always was open to letting her borrow whatever she wanted as long as she returned it. And I'd asked for her to give that stuff back before she moved out. And she said that she would and never did. She moved out, and about 2 weeks after she was completely out of the house, I came home and there were multiple things missing, including almost half of my wardrobe. I had barely anything left. And of course, I live with 2 boys, so they're not borrowing it. And she still had the keys at that time that she was unwilling to give because she stated that she was still on the lease until I got a new person on the lease and she was entitled to come over.
I'll hear you.
Thank you. Actually, the night we were moving out, about a couple days before, about me throwing a cat bowl.
I don't care about cat bowl. I care about her bleached clothing.
Yeah, the night we were moving out, I had quite a few friends over helping me pack and my own mother. And my mom had gone in the bathroom saying, you know, is any of this stuff yours, Layla? And I said, the bleach is mine, but there's not enough to even worry about taking. There's probably like an inch left in the bottle, so I wasn't even gonna worry about it. And I also, if you would like to look at it, my mom was supposed to be my witness today because in the police report, you can see that Cassie actually said my mother bleached her clothes.
I don't care if it was her mother or if it was you or one of the friends that you brought over.
Okay.
Madam, you're responsible.
Okay.
I mean, that's easy. Nobody bleaches their own clothes.
Can I make another point, please?
Just a second. Nobody bleaches their own clothes. And if you just said to me, I was there with my mother and some other of my friends who came to help me move, it's clear to me that she did not bleach her own clothes. So either you bleached her clothes. I can't imagine your mother being immature enough to bleach her clothes, but maybe one of your friends Maybe your mother, when she got annoyed and she said, is this bleach yours? And you said, yes, but it's not worth taking because there's only an inch left in it. And she said, fine, and poured it out. Something like that, but you're responsible for her clothes. Next.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Cassandra Trester says ex-roommate Layla Richardson owes for bleaching her clothes. Cassandra also claims that while moving out, Layla stole her belongings.
You have any of her clothing?
No, I don't.
I'm going to say it again. Do you have any of her clothing?
No, I don't, ma'am. And can I just say one more thing about
Sure.
when I was moving out? We were moving out, and I got my stuff in trucks to go to the storage unit to put in there, and it was about 8:30, and we were walking right past that bathroom. I didn't smell any bleach. I am really unaware of what happened, honestly. If you can look at the police report, that would be great.
Why would you think she would bleach her own clothes?
I really don't know, but...
What's the value of the clothing that was bleached and destroyed?
Sorry, I don't have it all added. I have it all added in between.
Okay, let me have it.
Turtleneck, which was $80. Trans 9 pants, $80 as well. Long sleeve blue shirt, just $20. Pair of jeans, $50. Black short sleeve shirt worth $20. Blue Chinese riding shirt, which is $30. A black sweater, which is $30, and pajama bottoms worth $10.
$320. Now, you have no direct proof that she stole anything from your house.
Actually, I do.
I'd like to hear the proof.
Jeremy called me and was like, Layla just came over. Jeremy.
What's your last name?
Skog.
Okay. How do you know these people?
At the time, I was Layla's best friend and also a very good friend of Cassie's.
Okay.
I was there with Layla helping her move her things out. What Cassie said about Layla taking different articles of her clothing, or I'm sorry, different things out of the kitchen and stuff, is this Cassie's, okay, then break it. That is correct. That happened several times throughout the night. I went into the bathroom to go to the bathroom, and I recall there being a strong odor of cat litter, and I actually mentioned something about that. After I left the bathroom, only 2 people went into the bathroom before Cassie found the bleach, which was Layla and her mother. Later that night, after everything had happened, right after the police officer had called me, Layla called me and said, please don't say that my mom or I did it. I swear I had nothing to do with it. Please don't say that my mom and I did it. I told her I'd already talked to the police officer and that I said I wasn't positive that she had done it, but that I had told the police officer that the only 2 people in the bathroom were Layla and her mother. A couple days later, she called me and said, I want you to see how cute I look today. Can I come over? I said, absolutely. She came over and she was wearing the purple floral skirt of Cassie's that she had lost and the gray New York sweater. And
yeah, just a second. Yes?
I'm sorry, I obviously didn't steal any of her clothes.
Well, let's talk about that particular outfit. He's not lying. He's telling me the truth.
Okay. Well,
He's telling me the truth. That's what he saw you wearing.
Okay, well, actually, I don't have a pink floral skirt or anything.
You don't have one that belongs to you.
correct.
No, I don't wear skirts, ma'am.
Listen to me.
I don't have
Listen to me.
her clothes.
He's not lying to me. How do I know that? I don't share my secrets, but I know that he's not lying to me.
And then I believe almost every day that week, she had come over wearing something that I recognized as Cassie's. The gray New York sweatshirt that she was wearing, or the sweater vest that she was wearing at the time, actually was one of the reasons that these 2 were fighting, was because Cassie, it was her favorite sweater, and she'd asked for it back several times, and Layla refused. Every time we went to Layla's house that she was wearing it, she would take it off before we even went into the house so that Cassie didn't see it. Layla has her lip and her eyebrow pierced. She had Cassie's horseshoe barbell in her lip and a barbell in her eyebrow as well, which belonged to Cassandra as well. I've seen her in the clothes several times.
High marks for having places to put those.
Actually, I don't have that many places. They're extra for my belly button. She used them for her eyebrow rings.
I'll hear your witness. You have a witness? Is that why you brought this person?
His name is Steven Snow. He was there the same night also.
Okay, Steve, I've already decided that she or her mother bleached the clothes. So I want you to pass over the bleaching. I don't want you to waste your time with nonsense about the bleaching. She or her mother bleached the clothes. What do you know about any other clothes that are in Miss Richardson's possession that don't belong to her? Do you know anything about that?
I do not.
Good, then you may be seated. Miss Richardson.
Yes?
If you're going to lie, lie big. You don't lie over $500, which is what the plaintiff is suing for. She's suing for $500 for her clothes the bleached clothes alone come to $320. I would give her the $500 just because you were nasty. But I found that you do, in fact, have other of her property that you decided for some reason to appropriate for your own use. I would suggest you better grow up. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. That's all. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Stuff was being thrown around, but nothing was broken. I was in the same bathroom, didn't smell any smell.
The judge knew who was telling the truth.
He's only there for 10 minutes. I'm sure he knew a lot.
Maybe she's vindictive. I don't know.
I think the truth came out, and I'm glad that it happened.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Tao versus Perry, step forward, please.
27-year-old claims adjuster Daisy Tao is suing ex-boyfriend, 33-year-old graphic artist Adam Perry, for an unpaid loan. Adam says the money in question was to pay Daisy's bills.
Ms. Tower, the defendant is a former boyfriend of yours. I gather that you lived together for a brief period of time. You claim 2 loans to the defendant totaling $2,500. Relationship is over. You want your money.
Yes, that's correct, ma'am. I did not live with him, though. That's not correct.
You did not?
No, I never lived with him.
Okay. I'll get to you in a second. When was the first loan?
On February 9th, 2001.
What was it for?
He's told me that he was behind in rent, car payment, that he didn't have any money. And so I helped him out. I gave him a loan of $1,500 that we agreed upon that he would pay me back when he got his taxes. And in March, he told me that he was still short and behind on his mortgages.
Could you put your hand down?
And so then I had to loan him another $1,000. And so at that point, I was getting a little concerned, and I did tell him that I expected him to pay me back. He agreed to this and said that he would pay me back in the summer, because at the time he was unemployed and trying to go to school.
Where were you living in February of 2001?
I lived at home in Little Canada, Minnesota.
At home with whom?
With my family.
Where were you living in March?
At home.
And where was the defendant living?
He lived in Dayton, Minnesota.
Were you working?
Yes.
Did you ever stay over at his house or apartment?
I would go to see him once in a while, yes.
I'm asking you a question. I expect honest answers. Do you
Yes.
understand? Did you ever stay over at his home?
Yes, I've spent the night at his house, yes.
On an average of how many nights a week?
Maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks.
Now, Mr. Perry, it is agreed that she gave you $2,500.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you tell me what that money was for.
In January, Your Honor, she wanted to move in together. I had a relative living with me, and she asked if I had my relative move out.
Your Honor, that is not true.
I don't want you to interrupt him.
So my cousin moved out, and she agreed to roughly pay half of the bills, which I have a list of a couple of months, which total a little over $1,100, and she said she would pay half.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Do you want...
I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't mean to be disrespectful.
Then you can't speak when he's speaking. When, according to you, did she move into your home?
In early January.
She moved all of her clothes and belongings and...
She had clothes, belongings, hair dryers, curling irons.
Are you telling me, sir, that she moved all of her personal belongings from her parents' house into your house?
She wasn't living at her parents' house, Your Honor.
Where was she living?
She would stay at some friend's house, and she moved from place to place, and that's why she asked, because she was going to switch her job position and move closer to where I lived so that we could be together.
So she moved in January?
Yes, Your
And she agreed to, according to you, roughly pay half the expenses?
Exactly what my cousin was paying, which was about $500.
Well, now you changed story.
Mm-hmm.
So which is the story, that she agreed to pay for roughly half the expenses, or that you had a fixed amount of $500?
It was about $500, Your Honor.
Now, about $500, sir, isn't an agreement.
No.
So what was it? Well, let's say this. She moved in January.
Yes.
Did she give you a check in January?
No. She did not give me...
Shh, no.
Okay.
She gave you nothing in January?
No.
And then on February 9th, she did give you $1,500.
Yes.
Is that right?
She said...
Just a minute. And that was the beginning of February.
Yes.
So I assume you were going to tell me that at the beginning of February, having lived there for 1 month and having had an agreement with you that she would pay you roughly $500 a month, she decided to pay you for January.
Yes, Your Honor.
And February.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then prepay March.
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's $1,500.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then in March, right now she's already paid in March, for March. But in March, she gives you another $1,000.
Yes.
And that is, I assume you're going to testify that she said to you, well, I've already paid for March, but I like to pay my bills in advance, so I'm going to pay you for April and May.
Yes, she gave me money.
Yes, that's what you're telling me.
Yes,
That's
Your
what she
Honor.
did. Is that right?
Yes.
Bull. That's not the way it works, sir. If somebody agrees to move in with you as a roommate, and let's say she fell behind in January, so she maybe would have given you January, if I believed your story, January and February. So she would have given you $1,000 to cover January and February.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then when March came, she would have paid you $500 for March, so she would have given you a total of $1,500 for January, February, and March. Yes. And what you're telling me is, no, that's not what she did. She paid you 3 months at one time, a little in advance, and then she paid you for 2 months after that. I don't believe you, sir.
She wanted me to keep ahead, Your Honor.
I don't believe you, sir. I believe that you fell behind in your bills. Now, you didn't tell me about that. Did you fall behind in your bills?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So you needed money.
Yes.
Is that right? Did you say anything to her about giving her back any money when you got your tax returns in April?
I did not, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
She was there at least 4 days a week, Your Honor.
I was
Oh,
not.
shh, just a minute. Mr. Perry, when somebody lives with you full-time,
Yes.
they are not there 4 days a week.
No, she was not living with me full time.
Give her back her money, Mr. Perry. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500, that's all.
Parties are excused.
Suing his ex-wife, 30-year-old homemaker Bethany Gray, for half of their son's medical bills. Bethany says Richard took their boy to the wrong doctor.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 304 on the calendar in the matter of Gray versus Gray. Why has it been sworn in, Judge? You may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Mr. Gray, when were you and the defendant divorced?
In 1995.
And how many children do you have?
1.
Your lawsuit involves the child.
Yes.
It is your claim that, pursuant to your judgment of divorce, each of you is required to pay 1/2 of the unreimbursed medical expenses for the child.
Yes, ma'am.
And that you took the child to see a psychologist.
Yes.
Child was treated by this psychologist, and you want the defendant to pay 1/2 of that bill.
Yes, ma'am.
Which was how much? $300 and some odd dollars?
For the psychologist alone, it was $195 for her part.
And then?
The medical expenses totaled up $595 for her part.
What were the rest of the medical expenses for?
Doctor's visits for attention deficit disorder, his checkups, medication.
Over what period of time did you have him treated?
From 1998 up to present date.
When did you first present her with the bill?
My wife and I have presented her with the bills every few months all along, and she's refused to pay every time.
What reason did she give you for not wanting to pay?
She says she doesn't have to pay. The courts aren't going to make her.
Miss Gray, was your son diagnosed as having attention deficit disorder?
Yes.
Your defense is that he took him to a doctor that was out of plan.
Yes.
And therefore, since you're covered by some sort of a health plan, is it a private health plan or is it a state health plan?
State.
That since he could have gotten the treatment for nothing, you shouldn't have to pay anything?
Yes.
Are you the primary custodian for the child?
Yes.
Why didn't you take the child then to the doctor?
He was 4 years old. I was going to wait until he started school and see if it was something that he would grow out of.
Well, clearly he didn't.
Once he established the doctor down in Bakersfield, my pediatrician tried to keep in touch with him. Because of the medication, we were trying to keep it in one place. And I am right now, under my pediatrician's recommendation, having a reevaluation done.
So you consented to him taking the child to this doctor after 1998?
I didn't consent to it. He never told me about it.
No, he did tell you about it. Initially, he had to have told you because if the child was prescribed medication in 1998 and you are the child's primary custodian, you would have had to have given the child medication when the child was with you.
Yes, I do give him the medication.
So if you gave him the medication, then you knew that the child had a diagnosis, which I'm sure you discussed with your former husband, so you consented to it.
Yes, with my doctor's consent.
Fine. You didn't say to him at that time, Miss Gray, I don't want you to take the child to your doctor anymore. I will take care of it here.
I've tried to.
You didn't?
No,
Can I see your judgment of divorce, please?
I have told him that. I've never been presented a bill either.
Okay, well, this order clearly says that both parties shall be responsible for one half of all such expenses not otherwise covered by insurance.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? So when I asked you that question, Miss Gray, you clearly knew when the child was 4 that the child had certain problems, and that you said you wanted to wait until he got to school to see whether the problems would resolve themselves.
He was my first child, and I assumed that it was basically being a 4-year-old child, just busy and playing, and I had him in Head Start. They didn't see any reason to take him in for a diagnosis at that time. My pediatrician wanted to keep it separate and just keep in contact with that doctor that he took him to, who is...
So you consented to him taking the child to that doctor?
I guess
If you
I did.
consented to him taking the child to that doctor, under the terms of your judgment to divorce, you are responsible for one half of the unreimbursed medical bills.
I provided him with a Medi-Cal card. He chose to take him to a doctor that didn't accept Medi-Cal and now wants me to pay for it. And I have provided him with insurance, which he is court-ordered to provide, and he doesn't.
Do you?
Yes, that's the Medi-Cal. I provide that for him.
How do you provide Medi-Cal for him?
I get AFDC because I can't work.
Well, then the state
For
provides it.
7
You don't
years.
provide it. I provide it. Bird provides it, but you don't provide it. You
It's
don't
because
provide
I
it.
can't work.
Whatever. You don't provide it. You can't say, I provide him insurance. You don't provide him with insurance.
He's got insurance because of me.
Well, let me ask you this question, Mr. Gray. Is it true that your former wife is unemployed?
Yes, she has been for 7 years.
So how do you expect her to pay this money?
She gets AFDC, and she is living with the father of her other 2 children that has a $45,000 a year income.
How can you get AFDC if you are married?
I'm not
that
married.
I'm not worried
Just a
about.
second.
She's not married to the man. She's living with him.
Do you have other children?
Yes, I do.
How old are they?
5 and 2.5.
Well, why can't you work?
Because I've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. In 1998, the counselor that Cody was seeing didn't want me to work because they wanted me home with him. After that, the county didn't want me to work because I had a child under the age of 1. Then my current doctor does not want me to work because of the fibromyalgia. I've got the papers and the
I
documents.
mean, I'm just curious.
stating
If
that.
you can't work, but you can have 2 young children, and you're living with somebody now full-time, and you have
Yes.
2 children with that person, and that
Yes.
person is employed?
Yes.
What kind of work does that person do?
He's a roofer.
It's a roofer. You live in your own home?
We rent a duplex, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can I see the bills, please?
We aren't married because of this. Because in the last 6 years, he's taken me to court 7 times over custody issues.
What does that have to
And
do with not being married?
My fiance is afraid that it's going to affect his income and his taxes.
Well, it may, but you can't choose not to work.
I'm not choosing
Yes,
not to work.
you choose not to work. You cannot choose not to work if you have a financial obligation for this child who is older.
He's
You had-
$11,979 in debt to child support. I'm not choosing not to work. I tried to work in October, from October 9th of
Miss
2000.
Gray, when you have 2 children and you live with a man as a family, and the reason you are not married is to avoid certain obligations.
I'm not avoiding obligations.
Yes, you are. If you're living with a man who is a roofer, who earns a substantial living, and you have 2 children with him, and you're getting welfare, that, according to me, is a scam. That's a scam.
The county knows about it, and
The county may
has-
know about it. The county may have its head up behind, but I don't.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Richard Gray says ex-wife Bethany Gray refuses to pay for half their son's medical bills. Bethany says Richard refuses to use a doctor covered by her insurance.
Miss Gray, I've been in family court for a very, very long time. There is no question that if you married the man who is the father of your 2 young children, you would not be receiving welfare.
Every time
There is
we
no
have plans to
question.
get married, he has taken me to court. He has harassed me through court 7 times in 6 years, trying to get custody. And the judge in Kern County finally moved venue from Kern County to Placer County because he has done harassing me.
Miss Gray, that is
through
not
the
harassing.
courts.
If he is trying to exercise his right to get custody of his child for whatever reason, because he feels as if it's in the child's best interest, and it very well may be in the child's best interest, I don't know, I'm not hearing that case, that is not harassment. What I said to you was very clear and simple. You live with a man with whom you have 2 young children, you are not married, and there is no question that if you married this man with whom you are living, you would not be receiving welfare.
I'm
Period.
not concerned
End of
about
discussion.
the welfare. I've done it to keep the health insurance on my son because he doesn't pay child support. He doesn't carry health insurance.
Just one second. He doesn't pay child support to you, madam. He pays child support, whatever he pays, to the county, because the county is supporting you. Has nothing to do with you.
I have a check stub where they take my child support straight out of my payroll.
Whatever child support he pays goes directly to welfare. And I'm telling you that if you were, in fact, married to the man who is the father of your 2 children, you wouldn't be receiving support from Bird.
We haven't been able to get married because of this man.
Then you shouldn't be able to have 2 children with him. What do you mean you haven't been able to get married? That's ridiculous.
We can't afford it. Every time we have set a wedding date, he's taken me back to court. He does this on a regular basis.
Listen to me, Ms. Gray. You're not following what I'm saying to you. You owe him for half of the unreimbursed medical bills for your son since 1998. Your pediatrician said to you, let the doctor who's been treating him continue to treat him. You said, okay, you are responsible under the judgment of your divorce for half of the unreimbursed bills. You're going to pay them. What are the bills in total? Come on.
They come to $723 for her part.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $723. That's all.
The parties are excused. You may step out.
The person can only milk the system for so long before they have to be paid for what they agreed in court.
I'm not on welfare because I'm lazy. My doctor said I cannot work.
She needs to pay her part. It took 2 of us to bring him here. It's going to take 2 of us to raise him.
I want him to leave me alone, visit with his son, and just leave me alone.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Cantor versus Ward Andrew. Step forward, please.
31-year-old psychotherapist Lisa Cantor is suing 49-year-old telemarketer Aduni Andrew and 35-year-old homemaker Maureen Ward. Lisa says the defendant's sons threw rocks at her car.
Miss Ward and Miss Andrews, would you have a seat? I'd like your boys to come up here, please. Step up, gentlemen. What is your first name?
Chad.
And yours?
DeAndre.
How old are you, Chad?
13.
And you, DeAndre?
13.
You know who I am?
Yes.
Seen me a couple of times?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you know what to expect?
Yes.
You know that when you're here, we only want to hear about what actually happened. No half-truths, no quarter-truths, no nothing. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You boys were playing outside on September 14th?
Yes. Yes.
Who were you playing with?
It was just me and him.
The 2 of you. And I want you to start out by knowing that I believe that you're not bad boys. You're kids.
Yes.
Were you throwing rocks?
Yes. Yes.
What were you throwing rocks at?
Cars. Cars.
And you were both throwing rocks at cars, right?
Yes. Yes.
How long had you both been throwing rocks at cars?
3 minutes.
Hmm?
Yeah, 3 minutes.
Where were you standing when you were throwing rocks at these cars?
The corner. It was on the corner of Halldale.
Were you throwing rocks that were little rocks or bigger rocks?
Well, they wasn't too big.
Show me with your hands.
About that big.
A decent-sized rock. Where did you get the rocks from?
On the ground.
Did you pick up some?
Yes.
You have pretty good aim?
No. No, not really.
How many cars do you think you hit in that 2 or 3 minute period?
I know I hit 1.
What about you?
None.
Is that because you had bad aim?
Yes.
Wasn't for lack of trying, right?
Yes.
You were trying to hit the cars.
Yes.
Did you tell that to your mother?
Yes.
And you?
Yeah.
Told that to your mother?
Uh-huh.
Did you tell it to her right away when this lady came calling and said that one of you had thrown a rock at her car?
Yes.
Hmm?
No, not me.
Who didn't fess up right away?
DeAndre.
When did you tell your mother that you were throwing rocks?
The same day.
That's not true.
What did she say to you?
She told me, did I throw the rock at Lisa's car? And I told her no.
That it wasn't the rock that you threw that hit the plaintiff's car. It was the rock that Chad threw that hit the plaintiff's car.
Yes.
But that was just lucky for you, right?
Yes.
Wasn't that you weren't aiming for the plaintiff's car. It's just that you didn't manage to hit it, right?
Yes.
Now, let me ask you this question, DeAndre. I want you to think about this very carefully. If Chad wasn't with you on that day, do you think you would have been standing on the street and throwing rocks?
No.
What would you have been doing?
Probably home.
Now, I'm going to ask you the same question, Chad. If DeAndre wasn't with you, would you have been standing on the corner yourself throwing rocks?
No.
So the reason you were standing on the corner throwing rocks is because you were gathering strength from each other. It was the 2 of you doing it together.
Yes.
Having some fun together, right?
During school hours, to boot.
I'm making my point.
Okay.
And my point would be as follows to the mothers. Who is DeAndre's mother? This whole lawsuit is about whether or not DeAndre is as responsible as Chad is for the damage that was done to the plaintiff's car, whose car was hit by one of these rocks. You seem to think that because it was Chad's rock that hit the car, your son isn't responsible. Wrong. They are equally as responsible. It's just the luck of the draw that he didn't hit the car. That was a pretty dumb thing. You know that you could have really caused a terrible accident?
Yes.
So why did you do that? Were you bored?
No.
Well, what were you doing standing out there like two idiots, throwing rocks at cars?
Well, I was bored. I didn't have nothing to do.
Well, do you think if you were in school, you wouldn't have been bored?
At the time, I was doing home study. Well, I still am.
Why were you doing home study? Did you get suspended?
Nah, not really. It's just
Well, not really is not an answer. Did you get suspended?
No.
How long have you been on home study?
Couple of months.
What about you?
No.
No what?
I wasn't bored.
Why weren't you in school?
Because I haven't had my papers yet.
What?
I haven't had my papers for Summit View, a private school I'm going to.
Can I see the bill for the car, please?
Sure.
That was like shooting fish in a barrel. $275. That's pretty cheap. One other thing, you have brothers and sisters?
3 brothers.
You have any younger brothers?
2.
You?
I have 2 older sisters.
How old are they?
Well, my oldest sister is 30, and my youngest sister is 25.
Do they have children?
Yes.
Do you like their children?
Mm-hmm.
Your nieces and nephews?
Yeah.
You like them? So then let me ask you this. Let's say your little nieces and nephews are driving in a car with your sister, and somebody throws a rock at the car, and your sister swerves and hits a pole, and something happens bad to your nieces and nephews. How would you feel about the person who threw the rock?
I'll probably feel sad and...
Sad or angry?
Mad. Angry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why would you feel angry?
Well, because somebody threw a rock at the car and she had an accident.
Next time either one of you contemplates doing something that's not only foolish, but can be dangerous, I want you to think about how you would feel if somebody that you loved was sitting in a car and was hurt because somebody else was just having some fun. Because although you are 13 now, you're going to be 16 and 17 and 18. You're going to be driving a car one day, and either you're going to be responsible and think about your actions, or you're going to be foolish and cause accidents. You always have to say, how would I feel if somebody did that to me or somebody I loved? You got it?
Yes.
Anything else you want to say?
That's it.
$137.50 for each. You have any questions about what I just did?
No.
Any questions?
No, I don't.
Perfect. Judgment for the plaintiff, that's all.
As I excuse, you may step out.
45-year-old CPA Lynn Lemke is suing her ex-boyfriend, 47-year-old counselor John Mungo, for an unpaid loan to keep him out of jail, the return of a car, and an assault.
Order. All rise. Now, this is case number 256 on the calendar in the matter of Lemke versus Mungo. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat, please.
Ms. Lemke, the defendant was a former boyfriend of yours. According to your complaint, he owes you for 3 things. He owes you for money that you loaned to him at one point when he was facing incarceration. He owes you for the value of a car, which you say you purchased, although it was in his name, it was supposed to be your car, and that he owes you for damages as a result of an assault that took place over a year ago. Is that right?
That's correct.
I assume that the loan that kept him out of jail was the first money that you're suing for. Is that right?
Yes.
And tell me the circumstances surrounding that loan.
John was, faced going to jail for child support arrearages. And the day that he was to appear in court, we took the bus up together. And then I overheard his, discussion with the DA and that he needed $750 to take him, him out of jail. And we agreed that I would, loan him the money and that he would repay me when he was able to.
Well, how did that come about? What did you say to him and what did he say to you?
Well, what I said to him was that I had $750. Just don't worry about it. You can repay me, when you're able to. I have $400 cash in my wallet, and we can go down to an ATM.
Tell me about, sir, your version of the $750, which you acknowledge that the plaintiff paid in order to keep you out of jail.
The $750, Lynn had offered to give me $700.
Tell me how it came about.
Oh, I was trying to do that.
No,
before we went to court, several days before she...
Look at me.
Yes, ma'am. She volunteered, said, I could give you some money to stay out. And I said, absolutely not. I don't want to do it because I would feel obligated. So a few days went by, and I was supposed to turn myself in. So we went, and then when we got into out in the hallway, the public defender said, well, do you have the money? I said, no, I don't. Lynn says, I have it. And he said, well, are you going to use it? I said, absolutely not. I don't want to because I feel like I'm obligated. I cannot pay her back. And then she said, he said, well, do it. I said, no. So he left. And then he came back again and said, why don't you do it? And I said, well, and we thought about it. And I said, he convinced me to do it. I paid it, and then we went home, and that was it.
So it's not your fault, and it's not her fault. It's the public defender's fault.
No, she offered this money to me in front of Mr. Coleman here.
Just a second, but you said
yes.
That you declined to take it.
Yes, I did.
Because you would have felt obligated to repay it.
Yes.
And then you said that the district attorney or the public defender forced you to do it.
He did not force me. He coerced me into it.
He coaxed you to do it, and you did it.
Yes.
And I assume, therefore, that your initial reason for not wanting to take the money in the first place still held true, that you would have felt obligated to repay it. That's what you just told me.
That's correct.
So you took the money, and I assume you still felt obligated to repay it.
I did?
Well, then I'm asking you that. What happened, sir, between the time you walked into the courthouse, when you would have felt obligated to repay the money if the plaintiff gave you the money, and the time you actually took the money?
She told me it was a gift, and I would not have to pay her.
That is...
Absolutely.
No.
Well, Mr. Coleman
she
here
say...
heard her say it in his house.
Just a second, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
She never used the words gift. This is a gift that I'm making to you,
yes,
John.
Yes, she did.
No. She never did.
Well, that's not what she's telling you.
That's not what I believe.
Oh.
I wouldn't believe it if you told me, because I don't know if I'd believe anything you told me. I certainly wouldn't believe it if he told to me. I'm telling you, she didn't give you the money. She may have said to you, I want you to take it, and you can pay me back when you can.
Yes.
That she might have said. All right, let's move on to number two. Let's move on to car. How much did you purchase this car for?
$625.
$625. So it wasn't a Jaguar?
No.
And it wasn't a brand new car?
Absolutely not.
And you had no driver's license?
That's correct.
So you purchased a car and you put the car in his name?
Not at the time of purchase, but yes, eventually.
When did you purchase the car?
June 29th.
What were you going to do with a car that you couldn't drive?
Well, I had wanted a car for a long time as...
just to look at it?
Friends had known, of course not.
Well, what were you going to do with it?
Have other people drive it for me so that I could get around until I have a driver's license.
So you must have discussed with him driving you around.
No, not necessarily Mr. Mungo, my roommate John Coleman.
How?
And no decision had been made whether it even be either one of these persons, people.
Whatever. You put the car ultimately in his name. Tell me when.
It was in July.
So you went down to Motor Vehicles and put the car, after you had it for some time, in the defendant's name.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Mungo, according to you, there came a time when plaintiff came to reside with you in your home. Is that right?
Yes.
When was that?
Let me see here. I have the date right here. It's on the bill of sale that we used, a copy of the bill of sale that we used for the transfer of the automobile, which was dated 7/18/2000.
That's when she came to live with you?
Yes, came to stay with me.
How long did she stay with you?
2 months and 5 days.
And according to you, Mr. Mungo, your arrangement was that she could live with you rent-free and give you the car.
Correct.
Miss Lemke, did you pay any rent? Miss Lemke, pay attention.
No, I did not, and I do not remember that document at all.
Should look at me. Could you look at me?
Oh, I beg your pardon.
And was it about the time you went to live with him because you had problems with your old roommate? That's why you moved out.
Locked me out of the house,
Your old roommate locked you out of the house.
Yes.
And you went to live with Mr. Mungo. And at the same time that you went to live with Mr. Mungo, was that the time you went down to motor vehicles and transferred the title to the car to his name? That's what he says.
No, when I went to live with Mr. Mungo, I was only going there for some place to sleep the night I was locked out.
But you stayed for 2 months.
That's correct, and I contracted bronchitis, had severe pneumonia in
All the time
August.
you were in Mr. Mungo's house.
I was, yes, I was.
And you did not pay any rent.
While I was taking care of him.
Shh. You did not pay any rent.
No, but I bought food and whatever, yeah.
You did
no,
not pay
I
any-
paid no rent, no.
Oh, okay. And he took care of you when you were sick?
No.
Who took care of you?
I took care of myself.
Okay. Let's get to item number 3. Tell me about this alleged assault. When did it take place?
September 11th.
What happened on September 11th?
I mentioned something about the car, which the subject I would avoid because of his fiery temper whenever the subject came up. There'd been a lot of verbal abuse.
So you started to talk about the car. He didn't want to talk about the car.
He ran from the back of his house in a fiery rage and punched me as a boxer's punch right here.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Lynn Lemke says ex-boyfriend John Mungo owes for an unpaid loan and the return of a car. Lynn also claims John charged her in a fiery rage and punched her.
Do you have a police report?
The police said that a police report could not be issued.
Police issue a police report when there's an assault. Do you have any photographs of your injuries as a result of the assault?
Yes, I do.
Can I see them, please?
That was a couple weeks later. This is about 5 weeks later. 6, maybe.
Okay, let me hear your version of what happened on this date on September 11th.
Well, Miss Lemke is an alcoholic, and she was drinking 24/7 every day for 2 months. Her idea of being sick
For the 2 months that she was living with you?
Yes. Her idea of being sick with bronchitis is drinking a 1.7 liter of Jack Daniels and barfing all over the place. I had my son at my house. He was, I believe, 3 years old, and she was told when he's around and you're drinking, please do not talk to him, leave him alone. We were in the bathroom, and she came in, and she grabbed me by the arms. She was shaking me and screaming at me, and I could see the fillings in her teeth. And I broke loose from her, and I went outside. And before I went outside, my little boy was hitting her on the leg like this, saying, stop. He could see that there was this anger, and it was getting him upset. So we went outside, and my little boy kept trying to protect me, and then she went to grab him. And as she grabbed him, he kind of turned upside down, and she spiraled down into the brick fence, and he kind of kicked her in the face. And
Oh my God, that's
and
an outright lie.
basically, I just was horrified. I said, "Oh, you've got to go." I didn't want her to be there anymore, and she kept
I
wondering.
don't know why she was there in the first place, sir.
She was there because she was so combative with John. He couldn't have her living at his house anymore. He locked her out.
So she had other places to go. She could rent a room someplace. Go
Yes,
to
she
why?
could.
So why was she living with you, sir? You're telling me she's an alcoholic. You had
I
your
wanted my
3-year-old
car
son.
back.
I think
That's
she
what
was
I wanted,
crazy mad
and
in
I
love
was
with me,
sick.
to tell you the truth.
Well,
We were having a torrid love affair.
You were having a torrid love affair
At
with
times.
somebody who you say was a complete alcoholic? When you have a torrid love affair with someone who is blind on Jack Daniels for 2 straight months.
How?
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Not for you, maybe. Not for you, maybe. Okay. What happened as a result of this assault? Were you ever contacted by the police?
Police, well, when after this happened, I picked, my son was supposed to go home to his mother. I spent the night over there. I didn't want to come back home. And apparently the police came out, and the policeman said, I think, ma'am, you must have fallen off the porch and hurt yourself.
Don't tell me what the police said to her.
Well, he was there to hear it.
This is
Hearsay.
unbelievable.
Okay. Hearsay?
Hearsay.
Oh,
This
okay.
is
Okay. Oh, yes. Go ahead.
you're despicable.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Quite frankly, Miss Lemke, if someone had assaulted me, causing this kind of injury,
Yes.
then there would have been a police report, there would have been a police prosecution for domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
And
2
I
weeks
cannot
later, I went to court. I went to jail for domestic violence, Your Honor.
And I cannot understand, madam, why you would not follow up on this case that happened over a year ago. Why?
I've been sick for months.
Okay, you're going to get your $750 bail money back. You are not going to get your car back because I do believe Mr. Mungo, and believe me, it was a real stretch because it's hard to believe him about a lot of things. I do believe that he agreed to have you live there rent-free in exchange for this $625 car that you would put in his name anyway. As far as your request for damages with regard to the assault, I am not quite sure how this happened. And it is quite possible that you were, in fact, intoxicated at the time, and you're not sure how it happened either. So this is the judgment of the court. You keep the car, and you give her $750 for the bail money. You got me? Good, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Lady Smirnoff?
He bought alcohol for me.
I think she's still in love with me, and she just wants to have some type of contact.
In fact, he had stated he liked me better drunk than sober because he wanted anything from me.
And now the next case.
All parties on Astuto versus Curley, step forward, please.
23-year-old secretary Joan Astuto is suing her ex-fiancé, 25-year-old tile setter Sean Curley, for half the cost of a wedding that never happened.
Mrs. Studo, according to your complaint, you had a long relationship with the defendant, spanning a little over 5 years.
Yes.
You have a child together.
Yes.
And at some point, you decided to get married. He proposed and gave you a ring.
Yes. I picked it out. I put down 80 towards it, and he put the rest.
Okay, how much was the ring?
It was a little over $200. I put down 156.
Okay, and then there came the time when you started to plan the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And you put some money down on various things for the wedding, a hall, a DJ, all totaling about $700. And then in September, you decided this was not going to work out. You called off the wedding and moved out, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you put the money down on?
The reception hall at the Spartan Manor,
How much was that?
600,
Yeah.
and 95 towards the DJ.
Who was going to pay for the wedding?
We were both, but I put down the money for the DJ. And
Tell me the discussion that you had.
Well, I discussed on where to have it, and we agreed at the Spartan Manor, and then we went together to the reception site and put down the deposit.
Okay, and how come you put down the deposit?
Because I was the one who had the money.
I didn't have the lump sum of $600 to put down at the time.
At the time?
Yes, ma'am.
And what about the DJ?
I told him how I was booking that DJ, and he agreed.
I don't remember anything like that.
How did you think this wedding was going to get paid for?
Very slowly.
What do you mean very slowly? What does that mean?
Basically,
Don't look down. Look up at me.
Okay, sorry, ma'am. Week for week until it was paid off. The $600 was a down payment, and then they wanted payment after that every week, and I would have to pay that.
Oh, that's perfect. So it was your intention, Mr. Curley, despite your answer, that you intended to pay for this wedding together.
Yes, ma'am.
So why don't you think you were at least partially responsible for the down payments that she put down?
She kept the engagement ring.
Did you keep the engagement ring?
Yes.
Oh, well, he has to be given credit for that. Why didn't you give it back to him?
Because he left.
So what?
I also paid $80 for that wedding ring.
Okay, but he paid $156, right?
Or how about I just give him his ring back?
Oh, fine. Where is it?
I can do that. It's at my house.
Oh, it's easier. So I don't have to deal with that later. We'll just take off the $156. The entire cost that you put down was $700. Half of that would be $350. So that's $194.
I also left my house, gave it to her, $48,000, fully furnished. We have a child together, and I left them two in the house.
How much equity is there in the house?
Nothing. We just bought it a year ago.
How much of a down payment did you put down?
A little over $1,000.
So you didn't leave her with a $48,000 house. You left her with a $47,000 debt. You have a daughter together?
Yes, ma'am.
Paying child support?
Yes, ma'am.
How much?
I pay, right now it's not court ordered, but I'm paying $88 every week. We do have a court date for that in a couple weeks to determine child support.
And do you visit with your daughter regularly?
No, I haven't seen her since Christmas Day of 2000.
Why is that?
She has not let me see her.
Why is that?
I've told him he can come to the house and pick her up, and he refuses.
I've had threats from her house.
You know, I've done in the last
Just a
5
second.
years for
Just a
him
second.
enough. I am, you know, I'm not his mother. I don't want to be his mother anymore.
I'm not interested in whether you want to be his mother anymore. So you say that you've told him that he can come to the house and pick up your
numerous
daughter.
times.
What does he want you to do?
He says no. He says to meet me at the police station. This weekend, I called him to meet him at the police station. I talked to his girlfriend and argued with her on the phone.
Just a second. So he was smart and he indicated to you, just meet me for pickup and delivery at the police station. If he's afraid of some altercation that might take place when he comes to pick up the child in your home, then usually when I was full-time sitting family court judge, I would make pickup and return in some neutral place where there were people around so that would avoid confrontation between two people who don't get along. So picking up and returning the child at the police station is a very good idea.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He has to see his daughter. You have absolutely no right to keep the child from him. None. And I would assume that when you go to court, you make sure that you tell the judge when you go to court, Mr. Curley,
yes, ma'am,
that what you had suggested because of the problems was a pickup and return in a neutral spot, and she had rejected that.
Yes, ma'am.
There's no question that the court will order visitation because whether it worked out between the two of you or not, your child has a right to spend time with you.
Yes, ma'am.
So judgment is for the plaintiff in the amount of $194. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Fighter Gary Parker is suing his daughter's former friend, 21-year-old electrical technician Carlos Martinez, for totaling a car. Carlos says when Gary's daughter loaned him the car, she knew he was a reckless driver.
Order. All rise. Now, this is case number 370 on the calendar in the matter of Parker versus Martinez. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Mr. Parker, which one of your daughters loaned her car to the defendant?
Jennifer, be that one right there.
Step up, Jennifer. How do you know the defendant?
I used to work with Carlos, and he dated my best friend.
And when did you tell him he could use your car?
I let him use it on August 10th.
Was it the first time you let him use your car?
I let him borrow it to go to his sister's house one time. And
So it wasn't the first time?
No.
Did your father know you were lending him the car?
No, he did not.
Were you under instructions not to let anybody use your car?
Yes, I was.
So why did you let Carlos use the car?
Because the situation he was in, he was supposed to go to a court in Enfield, and he had no other way of getting there, and I felt bad for him. I didn't want him to get in any trouble. And he said that if he didn't go to court, he'd have an arrest warrant out for him.
Oh.
And so I felt bad.
What'd you have to go to court for, Carlos?
A group of us.
Is not an answer.
Nah, it's not. But a group of us, including her, we were at a party with a whole bunch of internationals that come to work at Six Flags. And for me, trying to round up everybody so we can get out of there because the cops had shown up and telling everybody to leave unless you belong to the campus, the cops said, we're going to start with you because I was outside, so he arrested me, threw me in the car.
That's not true, Your Honor. We were at the party, and the cops told us we had to be inside.
Inside where?
Just inside the buildings. And they told everyone they wanted us in the building just because we were being loud and everything. And as long as we stayed inside, there wouldn't be a problem with it. Carlos didn't want to stay inside. He felt that he could be outside if he wanted to, and that's why he was arrested.
Your Honor, I think that's false. I remember the cops saying that they wanted everybody out because everybody was trashed out their minds.
What happened at your court hearing, Carlos?
It got, waved off, continuous without finding, nothing really, because it was like I didn't really do nothing. I was just outside.
This was the first time you were ever arrested, Carlos?
No.
So you needed Jennifer's car to go to a court hearing?
Yes.
So what happened? You went to court?
I went to court.
And everything was fine, and then you left court, and what happened, Carlos?
I was coming back, going through Springfield, and I went to take a left on the street, ran a stop sign, and hit a car to get back on the highway to go back to Six Flags to drop off her car.
Was anybody injured?
No, thank God.
I wasn't so concerned about you. I was concerned about the other people
So
in
was
the
I.
car. Why did you run the stop sign, Carlos?
And I don't know. I probably didn't see it, or I don't know.
Yes.
I think I can shine some light on this. He was being followed by the police. He was cited for failure to stop for a police officer, running a stop sign. He was passing cars, trying to lose them. He took the corner so fast that not only did he not stay in his lane, he went to the other lane, T-boned this car, and flipped it over.
Does that sound right to you?
No.
Well,
Were you being followed by the police?
Nope.
You have a police report?
yes.
I'd like to see it, please.
On the back, there's a date with a pre-trial conference that he had.
Take your hands off your pocket, please.
There's also 2 independent reports that are with that from eyewitnesses. He got out of the car and ran after he T-boned the car in the other lane.
Carlos, when this accident happened, you jumped out of the car and started to run?
No.
Huh?
No.
You weren't pursued by the police?
No.
Really?
Really.
Surprising. All these people must be wrong. Were you driving a green car?
That was her car, yes.
Was the other car green?
No.
The driver of the green sports car got out and ran east on Union Street. The police chased after him.
I was nowhere near Union Street. I was on Main Street.
Well, maybe if I change Union Street to Main Street, you would find it more accurate.
No, because I was parked at a Dunkin' Donuts, so I don't see where you would get Union Street if you knew the area.
I'm not talking Union Street. I'm talking about being pursued by the police, Carlos.
Regardless the fact is not about
Were
the police
you-
chasing me. The fact is that
I'm asking
here,
you a question.
and I'm answering you.
Were you pursued by the police?
No.
On foot?
No.
Afterwards? No. These people are so mistaken. In any event, this car was an old car. It was 16 years old, and according to you, it was totaled.
I have pictures of it if you'd like to see before
Yeah,
and
sure.
after. I'd refurbished the car for my daughter. It was in pretty nice shape beforehand.
Well, that's why Carlos wanted to borrow it. It's in nice shape. Or it was in nice shape.
Yeah, you got to the other
Now it
pictures.
is no longer in nice shape. Now it is a total disaster. A total wreck. Okay. You know what the book value is on the car?
Yes, Your Honor. I went online to Kelly's Blue Book, which is probably the leading authority on book values.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 of them. One was a trade-in value, one was a resale value. The lower one was a trade-in value. That was the one I used, along with the towing bill. We had to get it home. She had her clothes and school books and everything inside it.
Okay, so the whole thing is $925.
For the car,
Right?
yes.
And you had, I assume, no collision insurance.
No.
Carlos, why don't you feel as if you have any responsibility for this car?
Because, Your Honor, she's lent me the car plenty of times before, not only once, more than 7 times I know she's lent me the car.
Yes.
Not only to go to court, not only to go to my sister's, but for other reasons.
Yes.
She knew how my driving was.
What do you mean how
I-
the driving was?
I'll tell you straight up, I'm a reckless driver. You know, I ain't gonna lie.
Well, let me ask you this question, Carlos. In the other 7 times that she lent you the car, were you ever in an accident?
Nope.
So that based upon your history of driving our car, she would have no reason to think you wouldn't be as careful on the 8th time as you were on the first 7 times. Let's move on to the other reasons why you don't think you're responsible.
For the simple fact that when the accident did happen and I did get in contact with her, she had told me that she was happy that I was all right and that it wasn't the other way around.
What a nice girl.
Yeah.
She was happy that you were okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Darn it.
And
He also-
shh. I'm listening to Carlos. So she was happy you were okay, and
And this was at another party when I had seen her, and she was like, well, let's not even talk about it. I'm here to get trashed. And that's what we did.
okay, and
That was about it. But she didn't contact me about no matters, nothing.
so your first defense is that when you called and told her about the accident, she said, I'm very glad you're not hurt.
He never called and told me.
Shh. That's the first thing.
Yeah. But it wasn't a phone call, it was that person.
In person. So she said, I'm really glad you're not hurt.
Yeah.
So that's your first defense. And your second defense is she knew that you weren't a good driver. And your third defense is that when you met at a party sometime later, she said, I don't want to talk about it now, let's get trashed.
Yes.
Do you go to school?
I went to college. I'm not going no more.
Well, maybe you should go back.
Why?
Because you can't speak English. I don't go no more is not English. I don't go to college anymore is English.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Gary Parker says Carlos Martinez wrecked his daughter's car while running from the police. Carlos is denying all charges.
One of the things that I find most irritating about you is that you borrowed a car, you had an accident, but it wasn't an accident. In your case, it was an on purpose, because you, on purpose, ran a stop sign, was speeding, and you destroyed her car. And instead of being a man and accepting responsibility and saying, look, I'm really sorry, I did that, you know, I will work, whatever I have to do, pay you back slowly for the cost of the car, you come up with these lame excuses and present them to me in shattered English. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,125. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She trusted me to give me the car.
There was no reason for me not to trust him.
Right there, she's responsible right there.
We all make mistakes and accidents. You just have to own up to them and take care of them when it happens.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Lawrence versus Goss. Step forward, please.
Home care nurse Darius Lawrence is suing her roommate, real estate agent Ron Goss, for unpaid cleaning and landscaping services. Ron has a countersuit for unpaid rent.
Miss Lawrence, according to your complaint, you answered an ad in the newspaper for a roommate, and you moved in with the defendant. Is that right?
Yes.
And you claim a rather interesting arrangement, that you came to an agreement with the defendant that instead of paying rent, you would do housework and landscaping around the house.
What it was is I would do rent and trade with bill credit if I needed to ask.
What does that mean, rent and trade?
The rent was $275 plus utilities, and if I did work for him, he would give me credit off my rent and my utilities.
And your lawsuit says that you did so much work around the house that he owes you money.
And landscaping.
And landscaping that he owes you money.
And I paid products to keep the home together, and I bought food, kept the refrigerator full.
The defendant says that there was no such arrangement except for 1 month when he did give you a credit for doing some cleaning because you were short of money. He is counterclaiming not only for the rent that you owe him, but also because he says that you forced out 2 other tenants because of your bizarre behavior. So that's what this case is about. All right. When did you see the ad in the paper?
On May 4th.
When did you move in?
The 29th of May.
And what kind of property is it?
It's a house that he sold to a friend of his.
And you had your own room?
Yes.
And full use of the house? Other than that?
Yes.
When did you move out?
I haven't. We still live there together in the residence.
I'm in the process, Your Honor, of evicting her. I gave her a 30-day notice on November 3rd. She was to be out December 3rd. She didn't leave, so then I had to go and do a forced eviction. Yesterday we were at the courthouse for her to get out. She does not want to leave. She has not paid me a single dime of rent since September 8th.
So you're still living together?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. How unpleasant. Okay. Tell me about this first conversation that you had with him with regard to the rent.
He asked me what type of things do I do. I told him I'm a professional cleaner. I do landscaping, and I would do a trade private house cleaning, his laundry, his basic chores, etc. I told him I would keep the refrigerator full, do the cooking.
What kind of reduction in rent would that be?
I thought an honorable fair trade when I came to him and requested it.
Miss Lawrence, you always pick a dollar amount. If you pay someone for cleaning your home, that's so much. So you tell me, is what you're saying that you had no fixed amount that you would have your rent reduced by doing these chores?
Well, I explained to him landscaping I thought was a fair deal. Each week was $25 a week. And for a home his size, I thought $10 an hour was fair for private and professional cleaning.
Okay. And you explained that to him. You said $10 an hour for professional cleaning and $25 for landscaping. Is that what you said to him?
Yes, I explained that to him.
Just look at me. Don't look down.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you explain how many hours you thought it would take to clean the house?
No, ma'am.
You didn't. So it was sort of open-ended. If you decided to really clean for 5 hours a day or 3 hours a day, it would be $30 a day, and you did that every day. So you would keep a running tag of how much work you did in the house, and at the end of the month, you would probably be presenting him a bill.
That's what I was trying to do with him.
And so now you claim that he owes you $3,266 for the cleaning and landscaping services that you performed from May until now.
That's correct.
And for a refund of rent because you did give him some money in rent.
Yes, ma'am.
And you, of course, want that back because why would you pay him anything if you were doing all this work, right?
Well, I wasn't going to try to be greedy and want all the rent back. I just wanted a fair adjustment with him, but he wouldn't come to the dickering table and read my receipts.
And $1,650 should have been paid for rent. And how much did you actually pay him?
What I calculated, I came up with is $1,200.
How much did she pay you in rent, sir?
I'd say $485 to $500 is what she gave me in the
So
settlement.
let's say $500. That's being generous.
Yes.
It's $1,100 owing on rent. Okay. Did you have a conversation, Mr. Gauze, with Miss Lawrence about doing this house cleaning for $10 an hour and landscaping for $25 an hour?
First off, Judge, she came in May 15th with no upfront rent or deposits. I told her I would take off $125 the first month to help her out, and I was to get $150 within the next month. She was getting unemployment checks at the time. She was going to pay me weekly with those checks. It was very sporadic, $30, maybe 3 weeks, $40, another 3 weeks. She never gave me a full month's rent ever. And in the meantime, I had 2 roommates move in, one June 1, which would be about 2 weeks after she came. He could only make it 2 weeks because she drove him out of the house. She likes to control the house like it's hers, and he couldn't take it. So I lost rent from him. And then another roommate came in about August. He lasted 3 weeks. He had to leave because of her also.
I'm not entertaining that part of your lawsuit,
Okay.
sir. Let's talk about answering my question. When she didn't pay you rent, say, the second month, did you have a conversation with her?
Yes, I wanted her to leave. I said I could not afford her. I said I want to rent a room for money, not for services. I could not afford her. I told her that in the summertime.
And what did she say?
She just kept assuming that I could, and she kept doing the jobs, and I wanted her to leave since August.
When you say she kept doing the jobs, did you ask her to do any work?
No, I told her I could not afford her many times. I said I just want the rent that was stated.
When, for the first time, did you tell her that you wanted her out?
I would say about 1st of August, after the second guy left. He was wanting to stay, and I was trying to get rid of her then. So it's been quite a while since I've been trying to get her out. So then I had to do it with the court process.
I'm going to go back to my initial question to you, Mr. Gauze. Did you ever sit down and discuss with her that she would charge you what she considered fair, $10 an hour for cleaning and $25 for landscaping?
No.
Did that conversation ever take place?
No.
Of course it didn't. You couldn't even look me straight in the eye and give me that line. Miss Lawrence, you moved into this gentleman's house and you have not paid rent. If another judge won't tell you, I will. He wants you to pay rent or get out. He's told you that now for 5 months. So my question to you is, why don't you move?
I paid rent. Here's my rent receipts.
Let me see your receipts. Those are rent receipts. Is that what you're showing me?
Rent receipts?
Just
Yes.
listen, before she hands me that stack of papers, are you showing me rent receipts?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. What's this $72, the first thing?
When I give him cash, I write on the back of my receipt, I paid rent. And then I have money orders from my credit union, money orders from the check exchange, and those are the receipts.
No, those are not receipts. That's baloney. I don't know what some other judge is going to buy of your story. I don't buy this. This is a money order, and this was for $40. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Allegedly to him. Then we have some more of these $25. So every time you took cash out of a machine, you consider this a rent receipt.
What he did is took cash and money orders. He took both.
Baloney. You're a hustler. This is all garbage. Has nothing to do with rent. Now, Miss Lawrence, why don't you move? Is my question. He's not happy. You can't be happy. Why are you imposing yourself on this man and not paying rent?
Because he offered me honorable fair trade and he broke his agreement.
You're full of baloney, madam. You made up a story when you said to me that you had an agreement that he would pay you $10 an hour for cleaning and $25 for landscaping. That's baloney. It doesn't make sense. It defies common sense. I would have to say that he's a lunatic for doing that. You keep the records of how much you earn. At the end of the month, you present him a bill for $500 and say, you owe me money. I don't owe you money, you owe me money. He doesn't look like a nut to me. So your claim is dismissed. It's baloney. You owe him $1,100 in rent. On the counterclaim, that's what I'm awarding you. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step.
Is suing her ex-husband's girlfriend, Wendy Shively, for having her falsely arrested for stalking. Wendy says she was concerned for her safety.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 234 on the calendar in the matter of Sperry versus Shively. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Miss Sperry, the defendant is your former husband's current girlfriend.
That's correct.
This is the former husband.
That's also correct.
How long were you married?
10 years.
You have 3 children.
Correct.
And am I correct that your husband has primary physical custody of the children?
That is correct.
As of when?
Actually, from the time we separated, because of the fact I left the marriage. 4 years.
And you see the children how often?
Every Monday and Tuesday after school, every other weekend.
How far do you live from your former husband?
54 miles.
And who do you live with?
I live with my husband.
And you've been married for how long?
9 months now.
Your claim is that Miss Shively had you falsely arrested for stalking.
That is correct, yes.
And you want to be compensated. And Miss Shively says that she feared for her safety because of your behavior, and she had every right to have you arrested. So I'm coming to you, Miss Shively. Tell me what caused you to file the complaint. And I would like to read the complaint and see the police report that was generated by you.
There's some other documents.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. On May 19th, Miss Sperry, that was the first contact I had with her, and it wasn't really contact. I noticed her following us. We were picking up some leaves. A neighbor had cut his trees down so we could see to drive around the corner. So we were out putting those into the truck to take them to the dump, and Miss Sperry kept driving back and forth. This was on a Thursday. It was not her day with the kids.
May 19th.
May 19th.
All right.
On May 19th, 10 a.m., I left my home to go to a doctor's appointment where I have been going to the doctor for about the past 10 years. I arrived at 10 minutes after 11, saw the doctor, got the prescription filled, drove down 2 main roads in the neighborhood to go to the back side of it, where it's a large neighborhood, but it's got very main roads that people use all the time. To go to the back side, to go to the Wendy's drive-thru, get a grilled chicken sandwich, and go to work. At that time, I was in sales, and I worked in the immediate area.
Did you drive by their home on May 19th?
No.
Yes, you did.
When I got to the back of the neighborhood at a traffic light, I noticed a burgundy van in front of me. It's windowless. And I looked, and he's got plates that say on them. I thought, oh, crap, I'm right behind Jeff. I couldn't see in that van. There is not a single window on it.
Just a second. So what you're saying is you live about an hour away, and on May 19th, you were in the vicinity of their home. Okay, next.
But she had driven by 6 times before she was behind us in the burgundy van.
I got it. Go
Okay.
ahead. Keep going. What's
Okay.
next?
There were several other incidences. There was a June 7th incident. I had been taking her daughter, Allison, who's 11, to my tanning salon, not to tan, but she has some scars on her legs, and there's a spray type of tan you can use, and it covered them a little, so she was a little more confident. I never asked Beth. Jeff had given me permission to take her there, and Beth had gone into the salon, raised a scene. When I went in the next time, the ladies told me about it. I felt terrible, that I felt like I stepped on her toes, so I called her. And I said, listen, we need to talk. I didn't mean to do anything against you. I was just trying to help Allison, and is there a way we can do this together? And we met in a parking lot. I gave her my cell phone number at that time because her and her ex-husband don't get along at all, thinking that perhaps I could keep them from fighting in front of the kids, arguing back and forth, because I care about the kids. It started out, she would call asking for little things like to help with the kids, and that was fine, but then it turned into Bass Jeff sessions. How bad he is, how he's going to beat me in 2 years, how he's charming at first, but he beats women, and I didn't want to listen to that anymore. And I told her to stop contacting me. There became an incident.
Okay. Now let's go back to the incident at the tanning salon. What happened at the tanning salon?
On the weekend prior to June 7th, my daughter happened to mention that she'd gone to the tanning salon with Wendy. And I said, oh, and I knew she was self-conscious of the scars. I understood completely. But I didn't really know who signed the paper. And in my mind, I didn't mind that she went. It wasn't a problem. So I did go by the tanning salon. I said,
why?
just to see who signed the paper. I was just curious. It did have her signature, and I said, you know, she's really not her parent or guardian. She really shouldn't have signed that. So I signed one. I filled out consent forms for both of my daughters. I didn't object. I thought it was very nice that their father had met somebody finally after 3.5 years, and the girl spoke very nicely about Ms. Shiley. I was thrilled that, you know, they had somebody to enjoy their time with as well.
Well, that's very nice, but then I don't understand why you were curious to see who had signed the consent form.
Because...
Then I don't understand why you were curious enough to make a trip to the tanning salon to see who had signed the consent form, if it was a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
If their father has primary physical custody of the children, so certainly he can consent.
Oh, certainly.
And he can delegate someone else to consent.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see, despite the fact that what you're saying now is all peaches and cream and all light and fluff, why you would go to the tanning salon and say, no, I'm going to sign a consent form.
I just, as a parent, just offered it because, again, I didn't want it to come back. But at the same time,
it was stupid.
Yeah, it was. And again, I was only, I was on my way to pick up my children.
You were tweaked. You were tweaked and peaked.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She's had the same boyfriend even while she was still living in my house. That's kind of what happened here. You know, basically, Wendy is the best thing that ever happened to me and my daughters, and I just think she's jealous.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Elizabeth Sperry says her ex-husband's girlfriend, Wendy Shively, had her falsely arrested for stalking. Wendy says she had no other choice.
Did your husband receive custody of these children with your consent, or was it a court order?
No, it was with consent because he is the only one who lived in the school district. I lived 3 miles away, and we did not want them to be moved. So no, back in May of '03, we consented that he would have primary physical for school enrollment purposes.
So when you moved an hour away,
mm-hmm.
you made no request to have the children move with you?
No, I have not. Not at this point. I have...
Stand up a second. I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Mr. Corey, am I correct that there has been no request by your former wife to change the custody arrangement?
She's tried in a roundabout way of doing it.
How?
Before Father's Day this year, that's one of the things that Wendy had a problem with her. She basically filled out some...
Okay, then let Wendy tell me. Why don't you sit down? What happened on Father's Day?
She showed up prior to Father's Day at my apartment. She called me and told me she had just dropped off her kids. I never gave her my address, mind you. She had just dropped off her kids.
How did you get her address?
I did not have her address. I just knew that she lived in an apartment complex on the back side of the neighborhood.
How did you know that?
My children talked to me, and the only thing is they said, Wendy lives where Dad used to live. And I said, where? And they said the apartments. And I said, oh. He had moved out to the apartment complex 4 years prior, and that's all I knew.
When she called and said she was coming over to bring something, I said, okay, I'll meet you. I didn't want her in my apartment because I was there by myself. So I asked her to meet me in front of the leasing office, well-lit public place. She supposedly had some document that changed the whole custody agreement between the two of them to a 50-50 arrangement. But she didn't give me that document. That's what she was bringing for me to take to Jeff to try to convince him to sign.
You have a copy of that document?
She does.
I have it here. This is the actual printed copy, and I wasn't trying to change anything. The only thing I was interested in doing was starting the weekend of Father's Day, which happened to fall on my weekend. He could actually have the children that weekend, and we would alternate from there.
What's the support order in this case?
A child support order from May 2003. That's never been...
In what amount?
$473 a month.
Are you paying that?
It's not for me to pay, it's for him to pay me. Back when we separated, when we had 50-50, he made 3 times the money I made. So for a year and a half, when we had...
Just a second, I'm talking about right now.
Right now, there is no order in place for me to pay him. Since I have the children half of the week, and then on the weekends...
You don't have the children half the week. You don't have the children half the week.
I carry their health insurance, and again, he makes 3 times the money I make. So
I don't care.
There has not been a change with regard to that.
Well, there should be, sir.
I know there should.
Okay. Well, what is the September 2000, October 2004 order with regard to visitation?
I have those.
Well, I want to see it because that's what the court's affirming.
Yeah, we basically went to court 5 times.
I want to see the last order. Do you have it, sir?
No, I don't, but I think I could shed some light on this for you.
Please, stand up, because that's what I want to see. This last order here merely says that the order of October 22nd is modified to provide for overnight visitation, alternate weekends, Friday to Sunday. What you gave to her contains 7 things, including holidays, major parts of the summer, etc. Now, you want to shed light? I'm more than happy to hear you.
This is what happened. We basically had 50-50 custody with our kids. In our original paperwork, I put that if she moved more than 30 miles away from where we both lived, which I knew she was going to be moving out to the Fredericksburg, Culpeper area. She's had the same boyfriend even while she was still living in my house. That's kind of what happened here. She moved out there without telling me a word. When I found out, I went back to court. They basically said, the girls can't live out there with you. I ended up getting custody of my kids full time. And basically what she has now is she'll pick them up from me, drive them around in circles till she brings them back at 7 o'clock at night. It's a total fiasco. My kids are getting dropped off who knows where, and she doesn't even spend the time she has with them. That's a serious problem. They are 12, 11, and 7. My daughters are preteen, and they think they're going on 20. It's a problem. Their problem with me is I have rules. When they're with their mother, nobody's around to see if they're weighing the rules or not. You know, basically, Wendy is the best thing that ever happened to me and my daughters, and I just think she's jealous. All I want is to be left alone. I never wanted child support from her.
Okay,
and
well,
I
you can't be left alone, sir, because you picked this lady to be the mother of your children.
I understand
and she's
that.
going to be the mother of your children forever.
But should I be penalized for being stupid at 24?
Well,
For the rest of my life?
Listen, should your children be penalized?
Absolutely not.
That's what I'm saying to you, sir. They have a mother. And for better or worse, they have two parents. It's not a good thing for them not to feel loved and supported by both parents. Now, children, in situations like this, where you live far away from each other and have to live with one parent or another, they're living with you.
And
That's
they're
great.
happy doing it.
That's great. And I can understand her perspective of she would like to have her children with her. She made her choices 4 years ago.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, now she would like to have her choice and the children too. That's not going to happen. Do you understand that?
Oh, I understand.
Good. You can't have your choice, your heart, and your children. You left. That's it. That doesn't mean that she's going to leave you alone. She's not going to leave you alone because that's what happens. She's not smart enough to leave you alone. She's not smart enough to say, this is it, this is the story, and she will continue to fight you for your children. Children will get older. You'll make a rule for your 15-year-old. You won't like a boyfriend. She'll say, I'm going to mommy. Get over it. It's going to happen. That's what happens when people get divorced. Now you can sit down. Now, tell me the rest of the stalking, madam, so that I can make a judgment with regard to this case.
Okay.
And move on.
The following at the tanning salon, the following me in the car, all the instances are listed there. I don't remember them all now. Factored in with, I was afraid all the time because she didn't represent herself as a stable, sane person to me. And I don't mean to be mean, but that's what it was. So
Give
I was
me an
afraid.
example.
Trying to sneak over that custody agreement. She showed up with the custody agreement and then wouldn't even give it to me. She asked for my email, saying it wasn't dark enough for me to read. Could she email it? She was trying to gather more information. I handed her over my email address, though, thinking, great, it'll stop the phone calls, and she won't be bashing her husband. She'll be sending me email. But I'm afraid of her. The final straw was Father's Day when I picked her children up Father's Day evening at McDonald's. Was afraid they would get into it because it was a bad day for everybody. Picked him up. She came storming over to my car, yelling, give me Taylor's cell phone. His daughter had a cell phone, which her father took away because she was using it to deceive and lie to him. He gave Beth plenty of warning that he would take it away if he ever saw it again. She told her to sneak it in the house in her backpack and keep it on vibrate so her dad didn't know. So she was storming over at me, got right in my face. I rolled up my window and drove away, but I was very afraid of her at that time, and that's what precipitated the police report.
Anything else you want to tell me?
I would like to tell my side of the story because
I'm ready.
this is just totally made up. I did meet Ms. Shively for the first time on June 7th. She did call, asked if we could talk, indicated she didn't want to have any problems. I agreed. Talked for about 20 minutes, offered me her cell phone number. It was very nice. So I left and got the girls, and my daughter saw her at the pool standing at the fence with her son. So they walked over to say hi. I took a glass of water to want a cup, and Mr. Corey pulled up and said, make a new friend. I'd pass on that, and I left with my middle daughter. 5 minutes later, he called me and left me a very nasty email saying she sees right through you, that sort of scenario. She's basically saying, while I have my children with me, I'm stalking her.
Your
And that's
children aren't
just
with
not-
you when you have them.
On 5:30, I picked up the girls on 5:29.
Tell me about the incident with the cell phone.
With regard to the cell phone, I had given my daughter a cell phone back in October. I showed up to get her, and that evening I got a very nasty email from him telling me that he doesn't want me to come by anymore to get the girls to meet him at McDonald's. That's fine. At 6 p.m., I showed up at McDonald's. Ms. Shively was there to get the children. I got out of the vehicle with my daughters, walked to her car, and I said, "Did you bring the cell phone with me?" I had left a message on Friday at his house saying, "I'd like to get my cell phone back." Did this in front of 3 people. It was not nasty. She said, "No, I don't have it." And I said, "Well, can you go get it?" And she said, "No, he says he'll give it to you when you go to court." And I said, "What does assault and my cell phone have to do with each other?" She said, "I don't know. Don't put me in the middle." And I said, "Fine." And I walked away, got in my car. I drove to the police station, which was a couple miles away, and I told the officer, "He's got my property. I've been going through this kind of abuse for 4 years. I want my cell phone back.
Where were your girls when you went to the police station?
They had just left with Ms. Shively. So I went by
you dropped
myself.
the children off and you went to the police station?
Correct, because I did want my property returned to me. He had no right to confiscate it.
Just a second. You had no property.
I had a
No, dear. You gave the cell phone to your daughter. Listen to me. That's a gift. It's not your property.
Okay.
Okay. So let me tell you, I have to make a judgment as to whether or not your actions, just listen, whether your actions were sufficient to cause her to feel fearful enough to seek a protective order. And I'm going to refer to two objective things that you did, because I don't know, I wasn't there. I couldn't tell based upon what either one of you tell me whether or not you were making calls to her and saying bad things about him. I can't tell whether or not you were, in fact, driving back and forth. There's no videotape of you driving back and forth, but you did two things that suggest to me that you're more angry than you seem. I'm speaking. That you're more angry than you would seem to want to convey to me. One, for no apparent reason, you went to the tanning salon because you were curious about who signed the consent. There was no reason for you to be curious. Your former husband has physical custody of these children. He can do whatever he wants to do. I assume it was in the children's best interest. As a matter of fact, you agree that it was in the children's best interest, but your nose was tweaked as to who signed the consent. And not only did you go there, but once you saw that she had signed the consent, you said to them, "She's not their mother. I'm their mother. Give me the forms. I will sign the consent," because that's what objectively you did. The second thing you objectively did was, after you dropped the children off in June with regard to this cell phone, instead of just saying, "Listen, I'm not going to get myself exercised over this cell phone, I'm going to the police." To the police over a cell phone? And you knew why he had taken the cell phone away from her. He took the cell phone away from her because she wasn't doing the right thing. Miss Shively probably had good cause to file a complaint against you. In any event, your complaint for false arrest is dismissed. Case is dismissed. That's all.
50-year-old social health worker Rita Wyke is suing her niece, 19-year-old telemarketer Ebony Polk, for the cost of a new car engine and damages to her home.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 547 on the calendar in the matter of Wyke versus Polk. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
Miss Wyke, the defendant is your niece.
Yes.
And according to your complaint, your niece had been living with you.
Yes.
You went away on business for a couple of weeks. And it is your claim that either your niece or someone that she invited to your home destroyed some of your property. And the most expensive thing that was destroyed was your car.
Yes, a 95 Nissan Pathfinder.
And that was damaged because, according to you, the car was not in good running order and you had brought it back to your home to just sit there until you could take care of it. It was not to be driven. Somebody, either the defendant or someone else, drove the car, and because it was driven with no oil, the engine seized or something happened to the engine. And the engine has to be replaced. Ms. Polk said somebody else did it.
Yes.
Oh, okay. How long was your niece living with you?
Ebony moved in with me in March, the middle of March.
Why?
I took Ebony out of a bad situation, Judge. And I let her come and stay with me. I was taking Ebony to and from work until I started having the trouble with the Pathfinder, which was in June. It started leaking oil, and I was told that by the mechanic, I have here the estimate. I needed a real main seal rod bearing, a main
Can I see
bearing. Sure.
Because you're just reading that. You don't understand what all that is. Ladies usually don't understand what
no.
all this is. It just is, it doesn't run.
Yes, but that's why the Jeep was parked.
That's why it was parked.
Exactly.
Okay. So the original estimate back in June was $1,650 for parts and labor to fix the car at that time. So from middle of June until July the 6th, the car was just sitting.
Just sitting.
And your niece was living with you
She
at
was
that.
still there.
And you were not giving her rides to and from work in this car?
No, she had to catch city transit.
Okay, so far is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh. And then when you went away on July 6th, were you going there for business or pleasure?
No, business. And I was gone for 2 weeks at the group home. Ebony asked if her best friend, Brandy, could stay in the home with her while I was gone. I had no problem with that. When I returned, my Jeep wasn't parked the way I had left it. And I knew then it had been moved. When Ebony came home that afternoon, I asked her what happened. And she told me that they drove that Jeep and she had it towed back to my house.
What happened when you drove the Jeep, Ebony?
Well, I wasn't driving the Jeep. My friend Brandy was driving the Jeep.
Were you the passenger?
Yes.
So it doesn't make any difference. The two of you were in the car. Why did you take the car?
Because the fight had broke out at the house because I had a party. And, you know, a fight had broke out at the house, and I just said I had to go. It was still early, so we got in the Jeep and we went riding.
But you knew that you couldn't use the Jeep because you hadn't...
I know. I already know.
What do you mean you know, you know?
I know. I know the Jeep. I didn't know it was messed up like that because when we got ready to get in the Jeep, an oil leak, I looked under the Jeep and see if any oil on the concrete. It was no oil. So therefore, I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was major like that. So we got in, started driving. Before we could get back to the house, it just stopped. I towed it back to the house. I got it back, I got it back to the, property fine and all right, but I feel
Well, you
like...
didn't get it back fine and all right. It had to be towed.
Well, it got back. It was better than leaving it on the side of the road.
You have another estimate for the car?
Exactly. Your Honor, not only that, Ebony went in my daughter's bedroom. I have a handicapped daughter. I had just bought her a 50 CD changer, took that child's stereo out, put it in the den. Now I'm left to buy her another stereo. They demolished that. 5 of her CDs were taken. Only the cases are left.
I was not responsible for that. It wasn't my fault. I did not know the CDs were gone. And I didn't know the stereo was messed up until she told me about it.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What kind of fight broke out in the house?
Well, it was a little scuffle, and when the scuffle happened, I told everybody they had to go.
Well, how many people were everybody?
It was only meant to be a few friends, few of Brandy's friends. It ended up being about 50, 60 people, and I knew that wasn't even gonna work. So I told everybody they had to go.
She didn't have permission to have anybody in my house.
Well, listen to me.
I have here.
You made a big mistake.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I admit I did.
How old are you?
19.
Okay.
I feel like it's not my fault. I ain't had nothing to do with it. I wasn't driving it. I feel like I shouldn't have to pay for it.
Well, what about the carpet and the furniture?
The carpet?
Don't answer her yet. I'm still adding.
I'm sorry.
Let us assume that the damages, Miss Polk, that your aunt is claiming to her carpet, to the CD changer, the CDs, which she has itemized at, well, it's less than $44.23. It's less than that because I'm deducting the original $16.50 that you were going to be charged to fix the car. Let us assume that all of that is correct. Carpet got stained because somebody spilled wine on it.
I offered to clean it, though, but she had a little attitude. I told her she had to wait till I got paid. But if she couldn't wait, she had an attitude. I got a mop and bleach, and I tried to get it up. It was some stains, but I told her I was going to get the stain cleaner. She couldn't wait. Oh, well.
Where are you living now?
I stay with my friend.
Good.
Thank you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Rita White claims her niece Ebony Polk owes for the cost of a car engine and damage to her home. Rita says Ebony has a bad attitude.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, I have here where I had my carpet and furniture cleaned. I have the receipt here. I've already paid for that. Ebony feels like she's not responsible for anything.
Yes, I know that. What are we going to do about that?
Well, she cannot come back in my home.
Perfect.
There's no way.
Good.
I don't want to come back anyway.
She shouldn't come back to your home. Look, you spent $270 on the carpet.
That was the carpet and the furniture, the love seat and sofa.
And what
together.
about this CD changer?
Yes, that cost $279.
Do you have a bill for it?
No, I don't have that. The original price was like $319, but it was 6 months old because I bought it for her 25th birthday.
That was not my fault.
Well, whose fault was it? Tell me.
The gentleman who was in there who started the scuffle.
But I didn't tell
Shh,
anyone.
just a second. You allowed those people into your home.
I didn't know it was gonna be that many. I did not know all those people was coming. Brandy knew all those people was coming. I did not know. It was only supposed to have been a couple of people. Those was Brandy's friends. She is suing the wrong one.
Why didn't you call the police?
Because. Why?
What's a because?
Why? They were already gone. I didn't know who it was.
Oh. Listen to me. Some people are helpless. Some people are hopeless.
I am not hopeless.
Hopeless. Hopeless. Not helpless. Hopeless. Waste no more of your energy. You tried to do the right thing, didn't get there, doesn't get the message. She's got the attitude. It's never going to go away. You try to be a nice person. You said, invite your friend over. Don't stay alone. She abused your trust. She has no sense of right and wrong. She's 19 years old, so she's still young. But with that kind of an attitude, she's never going to change. Wash your hands and say, finito, and concentrate on your children, concentrate on your job, concentrate on what you do, concentrate on the fact that she owes you $3,038. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The Jeep was not my fault, and I'm not paying for that. And she knew that, so oh well.
All I can say is I love her. I love her, and I'll continue to pray for her.
She should have been talking to Brandy about that because those were her friends. She drove the Jeep, and it's her fault. Oh well.
I tried hard for Ebony.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Johnson versus Blocker Thomas. Step forward, please.
35-year-old administrator Gina Johnson is suing 30-year-old nurse Crystal Blocker Thomas for the cost of a wedding veil.
Ms. Johnson, were you and the defendant friends before you loaned her your veil, your
Yes,
wedding veil?
acquaintances for about 8 years.
Acquaintances, but not good friends.
No.
It's your complaint that you loaned her your wedding veil. She was getting married, and when she finally got around to returning it after many requests, it was ruined, and you want the value of it.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'd like you to tell me when you agreed to loan her your veil.
We played basketball together in a women's basketball league, and our league had just ended. It was about March. And probably around the mid of March, we went to a restaurant and discussed that she was getting married sometime in July and how expensive it was to get married. And I explained to her that I knew a lot of ways to cut costs, and I had some items that she could borrow. And I had not heard from Crystal after we had that lunch until the morning of her wedding, and that was sometime in July. She called me at 6:45 a.m., spoke to my husband. She called back about 9:15 that morning. And I explained to her, you know,
What did she say to you when you spoke to her at 9 o'clock in the morning?
She says, hi, Gina, this is Crystal. I'm calling you because I would like to borrow your wedding veil. You remember when we had the conversation about borrowing the veil? And I said, yes, I do. I said, when you get married? She says, today. And I said,
so you were not really close friends because you weren't going to the wedding.
Right. Correct.
So you're just acquaintances.
Right.
So go ahead.
And so when I talked to her on the phone, I said, well, Crystal, I have plans today. You know, you're getting married today. What time? And I believe she said about 4 o'clock. And I'm a woman of my word. I said that she could borrow it. I was going to let her borrow it. I didn't want to leave her out. And so about that time, I told her, okay, I've got plans. You need to meet me closer to my home. She agreed to meet me about, I guess it was about noon. And I met her, gave her my veil in its original plastic bag on a hanger hanging in mint condition. And she got out of the car and across the street and gave her my veil. I said, congratulations, get this back to me as soon as you can. She says, no problem, thank you.
Okay, so you had your wedding?
Yes.
Now you say she gave you the veil.
Yes.
Well, let me hear, because the wedding, it's clear that the veil must have come back in terrible condition, which you'll show me in a minute. Tell me about your recollection of the conversation that took place in July when you got married.
Okay, we were at Ken Ride's, and as she stated, we were talking about the wedding. Gina just openly said, Crystal, if you need anything, I have so many things that I'm not going to use again. They're not, they're going to be totally obsolete, so if you need anything, just call me, and I'll be more than willing to give you whatever I have. She said, because I know I'm not going to use it again. So I said, okay, well, I don't believe I need too much because I'm pretty much finished.
You called her the day of your wedding?
Yes.
And you told her you didn't have a wedding veil? Had you forgotten to get a wedding veil?
No. Well, I guess I did forget because I wasn't going to wear a piece. I wasn't going to wear a headpiece.
And then you decided to wear a headpiece?
Right.
So you called her first thing in the morning?
No, I called her because I went to go get my hair done first thing in the morning. And the way she did my hair, I realized a veil would probably look better.
So you called her and asked her for hers?
I asked her, did she have one? Because we never discussed that I would use her veil. I asked her, did she have one? And she said, as a matter of fact, I do.
When she gave you the veil, she gave it to you on a hanger?
She gave it to me on a hanger with 2 safety pins in it.
And it was covered with plastic?
A trash bag, not a bridal bag.
It was covered with plastic?
Yes.
And it was in perfect enough condition for you to use that day. I assume you used it. I assume you used it that day.
I didn't use the entire veil. I altered it.
What do you mean you altered it?
Because we let her know, because I was with my friend Tamara that dropped me off, that was doing the driving, rather. And she let me know, Tamara let her know, this will
Where's
not work.
Tamara?
This is Tamara right here.
Step up. Did you ever tell the plaintiff that you were going to change, alter, cut, modify the veil?
Yes, ma'am, we did mention that day because when we...
No, I want you to tell me what you said, because she said she didn't say anything.
Well, when I looked at the veil, I said the headpiece would have to come off because of how Crystal's hair was done that day, because it's a headband type headpiece. It would not go over her hair.
And when did you tell that to the plaintiff?
Right when we got out the car, because we were both out of the car, and actually...
Did she tell you that?
No, Your Honor. The first time I saw her, she was behind the wheel. I had never spoke to her.
Did they ever tell you that they were going to do anything to alter your headpiece?
No, Your Honor.
Of course not. Let me see how they returned it, please.
Your Honor, and I also have my friend Teresa Cackley, who is here as a witness, who heard the original conversations.
I don't care what the original conversation was. Nobody gives a stranger their wedding veil. Now, when it was returned to you, I read your complaint, and you said that this is just a piece of... Where's the whole piece?
She still has it, Your Honor, and that's a headpiece.
This is the actual headpiece.
When it was returned to you, it was returned to you in a garbage bag full of other things?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why?
I didn't return it to her. My husband brought it to the gym because she was talking badly about me to her.
Well, she wanted her wedding veil back. Why didn't you give it back to her?
She let me have it. Why would I give it back if she let me have it?
Listen, is that also a piece from her wedding veil?
No, this is how we auctioned it. This is the actual necklace that went on the veil. As you can see, we just...
Just a minute. Was that originally on the veil when she gave it to you?
No.
That?
No.
That was your piece?
Yes.
Now, this has nothing to do with money. So I want you just to answer my question. Do you have all the pieces now that you had from your veil?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
What is missing?
As you can see, someone picked the pearls off the back of it. You can see where some of them were glued here, and they've been removed off the veil.
So there's no way that, I mean, you're going to get your money. There's no way you're not going to get your money, whatever the cost of the veil was, because Miss Thomas is not operating with a full deck. I never heard of any young woman who thought that she borrowed either a wedding dress from an acquaintance, not a friend, not a best friend, not somebody who was invited to the wedding, from an acquaintance, borrowed a wedding veil, borrowed shoes, borrowed a bag, and then said, oh, it's mine. I can now treat it like garbage. You're absolutely outrageous, and your husband is a bigger slob by returning it in that garbage bag to her with some old dead flowers in it. Was there wedding cake in there, too?
Your Honor, that is her bouquet that she returned and did not know it was in the bag. And that's the only way I could get her to return my calls, that she wanted her bouquet back.
Really? Why did you want your bouquet back? No. Just answer my, don't think about it. Just tell me, why did you want your bouquet
it's my
back?
bouquet. And
Oh! So it's your bouquet.
Right.
And you want it back. Sue for it. Sue for it. I want you to listen to me very carefully. You're going to be unsuccessful.
Okay.
You want to know why? Because your husband gave it to her.
Well, she gave me her veil.
No, she didn't.
She never
No,
said
she,
it was
no, she
wrong.
didn't. You just told me your husband gave her this entire bag. I am finding that she loaned you the veil, which you destroyed. But it's so interesting to me, Miss Thomas, that you say, well, it's my bouquet from my wedding. I want it back. And you can't understand why really a stranger who was being nice to you gave you her wedding veil, which is expensive, which was lovely, and you think, she gave it to me, and I don't have to give it back to her. So, you want those flowers? I suggest you file a lawsuit. I hope it doesn't come before me, because if it comes before me, you're not going to get it back because your husband gave it to her. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount requested. The veil is worth at least $220. That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may